But this is an example of a pipeline that builds, deploys, and tests a single or a set of applications, actually. So the first thing that happens is you have an input that you need to fill in. And that input is, the reason we have that is we have 4 application repositories. So if you make changes to one of them, there's no point to deploy all 3 applications, all 4 applications, just deploy that single one. You can also pick up the branch you'd like to use as a source, so that's also possible. And here's what happens. So the first thing is we need to prepare a set of Docker containers, as we use that for deployments or for building. And it's like, the step basically says, spin them up if they are not already running. We have a quality gate defined in SonarQube. So if your code doesn't meet certain criteria, the build will fail. The next phase is the checkout. So we check, we clone a bunch of repositories. Then we clean up some leftovers that we may have from previous builds. And then we do a build in parallel. So if we decided to build like 4 applications or 3 applications, there will be 3 parallel steps here. Once we have that, we have a series of artifacts like zip files or jar files or maybe some configuration files that were generated as a part of that build. And we need to distribute that across those Docker containers, as we will be using those to deploy those artifacts. So this is what that step is all about. And finally, there's the deployment. We have 3 different AEM instances on that environment, and we have 3 packages here. So over here, there's a first package, second package, and the third package, and those are individual AEM instances. Next is the step related to some post-deployment steps, like we have some internal caches in AEM that we need to flush after the deployment to make sure there's no leftovers from previous versions. We do the deployment of the NOTX and Solar configuration nearly at the very end. We clear dispatcher cache, and we trigger a bunch of tests. So as you can see, there's a lot of going on. And at some point in time, we decided that it's the good time slot for making some improvements, as those pipelines were getting really complicated, and there was a lot of code duplication there. So we decided that, okay, we're duplicating a lot of code, it's getting really complicated and hard to read, so let's introduce something that actually makes them better.